Please don't piss me off. Mm, why can't I? Did I post that? Let me tell y'all something. This is so stressful to me. I'm like breaking out and sweats and everything. Screen timer is slower than. Oh, okay. No, that's what I wanted. That's fine. All right, so I'm just here because a lot is happening, right? I think at this point we all know that Charlie Kirk, founder, co-founder, I guess you could say, of Turning Point USA was shot and killed in Utah. And I wanted to come in live. Now, mind you, I was going to go to New Haven in Connecticut and watch my favorite movie at a park. You know what I'm saying? Make it a little thing for myself. And then this happened. And I said, okay, I could either go. I mean, it'd be cute, it'd be fun, or I could live stream. I also knew how stressful live streaming was going to be because I don't know, I'm not as tech savvy as I thought. Like it just be too much. It be giving me too many errors and words and numbers and all of the things, you know? And I just simply I don't be knowing what none of that mean. You know, so I just click, 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 and try until something work. Um, but I thought it was important to just do a quick live stream. Today was not that crazy, not that bad. Um, yeah. A lot has been happening in my real life, right? And it's definitely exciting. So that's that. But jumping over into this Charlie Kirk thing. So y'all, I only found out, I told you I broke into a sweat trying to get this to work because I didn't want to be late, but I was already late. but I didn't think I was because I had did my test run. So I did not mentally think that I was going to be late. But it is what it is. So Charlie Kirk. Now, I wanted to talk about this because at first I was like, I didn't think it was going to be, I don't want to say I didn't think it was going to be that big, but I didn't think people were going to run with it like they're running with it. Because not for nothing, I just didn't think people knew who Charlie was. I thought it was more so like if you're into politics or maybe you've seen like a viral video that may be all you know about him. But I think his affiliation with Trump definitely, made that be a thing, right? So he goes around and he tours campuses and I shouldn't say tours. He does like, I don't even call them rallies. I don't know, like speaking engagements. So he goes to colleges, he does speaking engagements where essentially like he states, here's my opinion. Come with your facts and let's discuss different topics. So it could be white privilege, it could be racism, it could be transgenderism, whatever, right? The Bible, religion. It's basically like he goes and he's like up for any debates and he's looking for people to prove him wrong or to come with something that's kind of logical. From a lot of the clips I've seen, most people, not for nothing, are just there to like yell and argue. Or once he starts spitting facts, they kind of back down, right? Like they're not willing to go farther. So they'll just back down from it. And I was introduced to Charlie Kirk because if y'all don't know, I do stand and I do love Candace Owens. So Candace Owens kind of got her start into politics and what she does now because she was working for Charlie's company, Turning Point USA. And then from there, she became who she is now, right? And so that's how I found out who he was. I did follow him on social media and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. What I wanted to talk about, okay? So many things, so many things. I don't have nothing written down. I'm just off the dome with this. First up, okay. I don't understand why people are comfortable celebrating death. I don't know. Maybe it's the Christian in me, but I'm just not going to be comfortable celebrating death. It's just never going to be a thing, you know? So I will definitely like be like, that wasn't my favorite person, but I'm not going to celebrate your death. And a lot of people are celebrating his death, and it's just really, really weird. Black, white, whatever, they're celebrating his death, and it's just strange to me. I'm just never gonna get on the internet and celebrate someone dying, especially not for no words. Like, maybe if you did something to someone in my family and like, you got the death penalty or something like that, and I might be like, let me go get me some food or something. Like, I'll celebrate, maybe, I don't know. But because someone gets on the internet and has a different opinion than me, no, that's not gonna make me celebrate your death. It's definitely not. Also because this man has 2 children. So he has a wife and 2 children. Again, I think about one, what you meant to the people that followed you, the people that enjoyed you, loved you, what you meant to them as far as fans. And then I think about, you know, your family, like the real people in your life, your 2 little kids, your wife who now has to kind of piece together her life and figure things out for something that she did not wake up and say, oh, my husband's going to die today. You know what I mean? Those are the things that I think about. I don't think about, oh, he said something that right, like this person deemed offensive, so now I'm gonna be happy that he's dead. No. No, no, no. That's absolutely disgusting, and I hate seeing it. I don't think that's okay. I think if you get to a place where someone saying something that you disagree with is going to be the reason why you celebrate their death, I think we're just in a really bad place. I don't have to agree with you um to feel like we have to get along or whatever, you know? So I don't know. I think it's weird that people are celebrating his death. I don't think that's necessary. Very disgusting. And then also with that, so there's a clip floating around. I tried to find it. And also, like I said, I'm not tech savvy, okay, y'all? So I'm not gonna pretend that I can just bring up clips and start showing y'all clips and all that there. That's not my ministry yet. I will get there. Right now, that's not my ministry. So I'm not gonna be able to just bring up clips, you know. It's just not gonna happen. Just take my word for it. There's a clip going around where Charlie was, I don't know if he was being interviewed or maybe he was like on a panel and they like a question was asked, but whatever. Regardless, he basically was like, gun violence or whatever has to happen every year in order to protect our Second Amendment, meaning people basically should arm themselves and use their weapons if it's, you know, to protect themselves. And um that he agrees with it, right? And so what that left me to believe, because I know he was really big, right? Like really big on um, guns and, you know, Americans should have them and what have you. Knowing that I knew that he was big on that, the only thing that I could simply think was he died for his cause. Like he died for his mission. Now, you know, you go to Fox News and they're saying he's assassinated, he's American martyr and all these other things. Um, I understand that they're definitely going to make this man a martyr, but he died for his cause. Like that's like whatever you stand on is what you'll die for, and that's what his death made me realize. Hey girl, that's what his death made me realize is like you will um die for your cause and you have to be willing and ready to do that. You know, I don't think he thought going out there, especially if he's done this hundreds of times, like he's been doing this for a really long time. I don't think he thought, okay, going to Utah, first of all places, going to Utah would be the place that he would be killed or that someone in the crowd would shoot at him, you know? And also, guys, shooting at someone in a public place with hundreds of people around is so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me because it's like, I understand that, okay, you're coming with the mission, right? But bullets ain't got no name. They don't have a name. And as good of a shot as you think you are, you can hit an innocent person. You can hit a bystander. Like so many things can go wrong. So it's like, do you know how bold and brazen you got to be to go into a crowd, okay, of hundreds and just shoot? That's wild to me. But anyways, like I was saying, he definitely died for his cause, and it gets you to thinking about the people who, or at least me, it got me to thinking about the people who have died for their cause. I don't think we see that a lot now. I think that a lot of people are comfortable being sheep. A lot of people are comfortable, you know, kind of just following along and going with whatever is happening as opposed to um going against the grain and doing something different and speaking out and loud and proud about it. And I think to some degree, at least that's something that you can admire about Charlie Kirk, right? Whether you agreed with it or not, if you didn't agree, okay. It is what it is. You're not going to agree with everybody. But at the end of the day, he spoke about something that mattered to him. And unfortunately, he died, you know, basically by the same things that he was so opinionated about. I don't know. I'm like I'm indifferent, right? I also consider you got like for me, I think to like Candace, right? Someone who comes out and she says, what she thinks about different topics and things like that. And it's so sad to think that someone could be so upset by words that they want to take your life. Like, that's so crazy to me. I don't think if we say we're these Americans and we have this freedom of speech and we all believe in freedom of speech, that we could want to end someone's life because their freedom of speech, their speech is different than what I believe. I find that to be so crazy and so bizarre. Unless someone is like outright hurting you, I just don't think that's the way to go. If you disagree, then listen. Hello, everyone has a podcast. Get up on a podcast and talk about what you want to talk about. Spread your word. But to kill somebody, I don't know, that's kind of crazy to me. Okay, and then what else was I thinking about with this, right? You're going to die for your cause. The amount of people in history who have died and risked their life and put their life on the line for their cause, it's very admirable. It's very admirable. But I don't know if we're at a place where a lot of people are willing to do that. Not a lot of people are willing to do that, I think you have to commend the people who are, because that's big of them, right? Like, you're putting the cause before yourself. And I can admire that. I think with like this, my whole podcast, right? Black and Classic, the idea is to uplift my people, Black people, right? Expose us to the things that we don't normally talk about, whether it's on the left, whether it's the right, whatever the opinion is, talk about the things that we aren't exposed to. So we can kind of gain knowledge where we were ignorant, So that's the whole purpose, right? And when I think about it, I'm like, okay, is this a cause that I'm willing to die for? Because this man just died about his, you know what I mean? Not intentionally, but you're never intentionally looking to die. I mean, some people, but we'll leave that alone. You're not intentionally looking to die, but he did die behind his cause. Like, you're putting yourself out there every single time he goes in front of a school or whatever. He's putting himself out there. And I don't know too many people that are willing to do that. I think, we have to come to terms with being uncomfortable with having tough conversations, being able to talk about, what we believe, what our opinions are, what our feelings are, and be able to communicate that. Once we get to a place, and that's what he was doing, right? Like, going around to different colleges and trying to have those conversations, whether you agreed or disagreed, let's just have the conversation. To get to a place and to keep getting to this place where you just simply can't use your words is kind of crazy to me. I think it's important that we recognize, like, okay, yes, a lot of people might not have agreed with his message, but at least he was speaking up and speaking out for what he believed. A lot of people, the same people who are celebrating his death, like I said before, y'all are out here celebrating his death. This man body ain't probably even cold, and y'all are celebrating his death. Weird. But the same people that are willing to celebrate his death are also the same people who won't speak to what they believe in. They'll just simply follow what everyone else is saying. Dangerous. You you really gotta respect people um who are able to talk about it and be about it. And that's what I think. That's what I think Charlie was, right? He was able to talk about it and be about it, and I can appreciate that. I think his death was so shocking to me because I knew he was just simply trying to um talk about what he believed in. Like that's it, Like that's all he was trying to do was just have that conversation. And to know that we are continuously living in a world where people will hate you for the things that they say because they don't agree and they want to kill you for it is just crazy. It's like it's just it's wild. And so on the flip side, right, then I start thinking about, again, dying about your cause and thinking about the people who have. And now I'm looking at what was I doing today? I was watching some clips and some interviews. And a lot of it is usually just like black leaders, right? Like Riza Islam, Nuri Muhammad. I was watching a gentleman talk about Fred Hampton. So I'm just getting into that and understanding like the things they did with Riza Islam where any platform he has, any platform he has, right? They are taking it from him. They're banning him on these platforms. And the only way he really gets to speak on these platforms is if other people have him on and do interviews and stuff like that. And again, and even they did it with Candace where they like took her page and like demonetized it and all these things. And it's just like, why can't we get to a place where we can just talk about what we believe? I'm at a place, I think this definitely did, I guess you could say, wake me up to the fact that it's important to be about your cause. Whether you got to die behind it or not, you got to be about your cause because life is too short to not get your message out. And some people may love it, some people may hate it, some people may not want you to spread that, to share those type of messages. But to me, it's almost like it is what it is. If you see an issue in the world and it's an issue, right? Then you got to be about that. I definitely don't want to be a person that lives cowardly because I'm scared of people hating that I'm spreading this message. I really want to do that. There's a Jay-Z lyric and it's escaping me right now. Help me, y'all. Oh my God. It's a Jay-Z lyric for everything. But yeah, like I don't want to be a coward because I'm scared. Yep. I'd rather live enormous than live dormant. That's the that's the lyric. But yeah, I believe that. I'd rather do it big. I'd rather be loud. I'd rather get my message out, get my message across than to be scared and be feeling like I can't say what I feel. To me, Charlie Clerk was definitely unapologetic. He believed in what he believed in. And again, I don't understand why, people can't appreciate that. You may not agree, but just appreciate that the man spoke up and stood on what he believed on. Now, I will say it is very interesting the way that I think did Trump ask for flags to be at half mast? I thought I heard that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think much will come from this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't think much will come from this as far as like people being outraged and wanting to like, because you know when something happens and then like people feel um like it'll spark like outrage or like an uneasiness. I don't think it'll be that deep. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it'll be that deep. I don't think what did they go out with before the tiki torches? I don't think they're gonna come out and they're like, you know, khaki shorts and tiki torches. I don't think it's going to go that far. Um, but I do believe this is going to be talked about for a long time. Um, I do believe we're going to get, if we haven't already, I've been trying to keep up with it in between, you know, breaking out in sweats, trying to figure out how to go live. I do believe we're probably going to get like a sit down press conference situation from Trump. I definitely do believe we'll get that because he was definitely a big Trump guy. I think he helped him the first campaign, probably the second too, but I read that he was very instrumental in that first election. So yeah, it's definitely sad. Shooter, okay. Also, um I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I will say, right, them, because I was just click on the video, them not being able to find the shooter and then like some other guy got mistakenly arrested or apprehended. I don't know. I just I don't know. I'm definitely going to, this is going to be something else that I'm going to pay close attention to, y'all, because I feel as though I hate when like when someone dies to get into my conspiracy bag, but I got to get into my conspiracy bag. I do believe they're going to give us a shooter, and it just depends on what agenda they want to push forward. Because remember, I told y'all, they quite literally every single time there's a shooter, they always miraculously somehow end up being trans to some degree. So I definitely want to see, you know, I don't see how they don't have the shooter. So many people, so many videos. I'm watching a video now where I think they see the person like running on the roof or laying down on the roof, what have you. Yeah, I don't know. I think I watched too much to not be a little skeptical. You know, there's a part of me that believes this wasn't just some like maniac who got upset. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just always looking at what is the bigger point. Because one, I did not watch the video. That's another thing. I personally don't need to watch nobody getting killed. Barely want to see it in a movie. Okay. If it's in a movie and it's about to get gory or someone's about to get killed, please believe I'm either closing my eyes or covering my eyes. I just I don't want to digest anything like that. Okay. So I did not see the video, and I know it is out there floating around, but I'm cool. Like I'm good. What I did see though was the video of them um like I don't know if like it was security or whoever, but they were um carrying his body. You know what I mean? They were carrying his body into a back of a truck. That was already too much. You know, like I'm good. Okay, so I don't need to see it. But what I was trying to get to is that I don't believe it's a coincidence that he was shot in the throat. I do believe. I watched videos of people who did watch it. I'm pretty sure they say it got like shot like in the neck or throat. You know, I'm just saying. There's always a reason, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's so, so strange. And the crazy thing is how I found out about this, y'all. I was at work scrolling TikTok, and this girl was on live. Don't even know the girl, but because if you're on TikTok, it'll just show you random people who are on live. Okay. So I'm scrolling, and this girl's on live, and she's like, Charlie, Charlie Kirk got shot. I don't know who that is. And so I immediately now I close out of TikTok, go right, look, hit right to Safari, put in Charlie Kirk, boom, it all pops up. I'm like, ain't no way. But then what got me was when they were reporting that he got shot in the neck. First they said in the head, but then they were like neck area. And I said, that's not a good one because a lot of times there are major arteries, right? So if you hit a major artery, you're most likely going to bleed out pretty fast. Because if it was like jaw, maybe even face, I would have been like, you know. But once you get to like here and you get, nick a artery, I was like, it's not looking too good. And so, sent up a prayer to Big God, and I was like, that's crazy, right? And I'm seeing that he's in Utah. And I'm like, who would think in Utah, right? Like, come on, of all places. And I'm like, well, he's doing his regular stuff. He's, out of college as he always is. Maybe it was like a graze, right? Maybe it was a graze. And what about my day? And then I came back, and what was I doing? Was I walking somewhere? I don't know. My phone was in my hand, and I was walking somewhere. I don't know, y'all. And first thing up, Fox News, and it said he died. And I'm not gonna lie, I was actually sad. I was sad. I was sad because, again, I just can't celebrate death. So I was actually sad. And it's crazy because he was at the top. Like, you have your stories and stuff. His story was at the top. So then I clicked it, and then I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that he had a wife and kids, right? So like I said, he had a wife and 2 kids. Then on top of that, when I was looking into him, I didn't realize he was so young. I didn't know he was 31. And then meanwhile, okay, so cool. Saw that. And then what made me want to go live is I saw Don Lemon was live. And I was like, let me check into his live. So I'm checking into his live, y'all. And the people all down in the comments having a parade. I said, oh, y'all are crazy. They all down in the comments, so excited. And then I don't think Don Lemon know how old he is because he over there talking about tweets from 2014. 2014. The baby is just 31. Like, he was born 1993. So I'm like, why are you looking up tweets from 2014? He was like probably so young. Luckily his producer was like, I don't know where you saw that tweet at, but I can't find it. And I was like, oh, thank God, because don't get out here spreading false news. Let's not do that. Especially when somebody just died. I can't get over that. Y'all are really, really disgusting people. Y'all are, because no. I'm willing to die behind my cause, right? What I believe in. But then to know that I'll die and then some white person will be tap dancing and throwing back a beer like good for her, that's crazy. No. Y'all should not be excited and y'all should not be happy. It's people all down in comments and on, different posts talking about rest in piss. Nobody cares. Next. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Because he said things you didn't agree with. Really? Please. We can't be that sensitive. Like, y'all cannot be that sensitive. And then on top of that, what gets me, like I said, y'all be followers for real, is y'all can't point to the man. Like, I just went to his page and someone in the comments was like, oh, if you go down his page, it's nothing but racism. So I said, let me go down his page because I'm not going to follow somebody, right? Me, as a black woman. Why would I follow somebody that just says racist things all day? You know? So I said, let me go look again. And again, I don't find things that are racist. Now, do I agree with every single post and his standpoint? No, but it's not racist. And also, I'm not sensitive. I'm not sensitive in a way that someone can't say a differing opinion and I'm ready to cry and shoot them over it. That's not what I'm going to do. Also, another thing that's confusing, you do hundreds of these, right? He does hundreds of these, goes all over the country doing these. Why now? Right? Like, what made you so upset now? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, y'all, I told y'all a lot of things, a lot of things be happening. But on top of that, there was a school shooting in Colorado. There's a school shooting in Colorado. If I'm not mistaken, it was 3 students that got injured. And of course, just pure chaos. So a lot of gunplay today. A lot of gunplay today. And on top of me just being really sad, especially for his wife and his kids, oh my God. I think it just further made me want to continue what I do, and speak how I speak, because we need more people, right? We just need more people to do what we do, right? To go against the grain, to say the thing that's not popular because it's not what the rest of the sheep are doing. Like, I don't want to be a sheep. I don't want to follow behind what everyone else is doing. That's just not going to be okay for me, And I stayed away from it for a while because I was not, listen. I'm not gonna say that. 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 Moving on. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. So I didn't want to do it. But I definitely feel like it's important because although he was very, very, very young, younger than me, I mean, we were born the same year, but I was born in April. So, we have to get younger and be able to do this, right? That's just what's on my heart. That's just what I feel. That's just what I wanted to get out into the ether. I think a lot of people are either going to be super negative and talk a bunch of crap about this man, or they're going to be super positive and only say the good things. Me, I don't care either way. But what I will say is that I don't believe we should live in a time where we laugh at someone dying. That's never okay. I also don't think that we should be willing to take someone's life because they have a difference in opinion. That's never okay. Once we realize that we can coexist with 2 different opinions, we don't have to agree. That's not the purpose. You can live where you live with your opinion, and I can live where I live with my opinion and just exist, And if it comes down to it, then we can sit down at a table like 2 grown adults and have the conversations and discuss our opinions and what we believe and what our experiences are, and just have those conversations. That's it. But when we're so highly sensitive and everything has to be politically correct and everything has to be accepted and everything has to be what they say it is, then we're just in a dangerous place, because I don't believe in what they say. I believe in God, and yeah, and what I believe, right? Like what I personally believe, not what someone is telling me. Not what someone is telling me is the right thing. I don't have to believe that at all. And it would just be really unfair to, every single time someone has a different opinion, to take them out, you know? So I say all that to say, pray for the people, like really pray, right? Um, really pray for the people who are taking a stance and who are going against the grain, because it's hard. It's a fight, okay? Um, and those people are important. Whether you agree or disagree with them, they are important, especially if it's just conversation, right? Now, this ain't talking about some like KKK member, you know what I'm saying? Like really going there, No. But someone who just has a different opinion, um, yeah, those are the people who we should pray for and protect. That's just whether I like them or not, whether I like them or not, pray for them and protect them, because we have got to get to a place where we can have those conversations. Whether you're white, black, or brown, we should be able to have those conversations. I think it's important. I'm definitely going to encourage a lot of people to check out, Charlie's content. It may not be your cup of tea, but so what? Listen to it anyway. You know what I mean? Digest it anyway. Understand it anyway. I did the same thing when I got into Candace Owens. When I got into Candace Owens, it was so much rhetoric about this girl online. And I was like, who is this black girl? And then I forgot what I had did. I don't know if I like Googled her or something. And I found out she was from Connecticut. And I said, okay, it's a black girl from Connecticut. And y'all got this much pressure for her. Something ain't right. When y'all jump up and hate someone, just like it's a full-on hate train, a full-on hate campaign, I'm gonna have to see what it's about, because I just know how the masses work, right? The masses follow. So if you get a good amount of people saying we don't like this person, then everybody's gonna say we don't like this person. Me, I'm an individual. So if I see everyone saying they don't like this person, I'm gonna go check out that person. Because why you don't like them? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people all down, like I said, in Charlie's comments, talking about he's racist, he's that, and it's that. And it's like, okay, well, point to it. It can't be just because you disagree with his opinion on something. That doesn't make someone racist. Point to them saying and doing. That's all I ask. But, who am I? So, yeah, I went and I looked into Candace and I said, oh, wait. Y'all wait. If y'all don't like what she's saying, y'all would hate me, because I'm definitely going to say the same exact thing, but it's going to be a little bit harsher. If y'all don't like her, y'all would hate me. Like, y'all would really hate the stuff that I would say, So that's that on that. But yeah, pray for the people. Pray for the people. Pray for the people. Because if you can't get up here on God's green, and another thing, okay? The way people get up on this internet and play around and play in y'all face and be weird, and y'all be promoting all these weirdos and these people that don't do nothing productive in society. The way y'all be promoting them and want to make them famous and make them a household name and get them on Ellen and get them here and there and whatever else, and y'all paying to go see them and all this other craziness, y'all don't got nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But a person who wants to actually sit down and have a conversation about real life issues, real life things going on, real life policies, real life politics and things like that, those are people y'all don't like. But y'all get up here and go watch a Love and Hip Hop show and go and enjoy all the baddies and all that and have no problem with it. But God forbid somebody challenges what you believe and all of a sudden it's a negative. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be. And again, like I said, if you don't agree with what someone is saying, go ahead, get you a mic. Get you a computer. Start a podcast. They are quite literally free. Besides buying the equipment, they are quite literally free. Yeah, it's free to do. And you can get right up here on this thing and say whatever you want to say. Build your own audience and say whatever you want to say. Get your message out with your voice. Don't cut somebody else's voice because you don't like what they're saying. You get out and you do the same thing. And articulate yourself, build your audience, build your fan base. Do the same thing. Because the same way these people got fans, you'll have some too. So do that. But don't kill somebody because you don't agree with their message. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And on that note, I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I don't be knowing why for real, but I don't know. I'm sleepy. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking me out. I can't say that I'll be going live a lot. You know why I will say that? Because I broke out into full-fledged sweat trying to do this. Okay. Full-fledged sweat. This was hard. This was not easy. Okay. I think actually though, I think I got it to work. I got all types of monitors and things going on. So I definitely think I got it to work. I don't think anything else happened in the news besides the shooting in Colorado, which by the way is not being reported on a lot. Shocker. There was also a killing on a train. Listen, it's a whole lot of. Yep, so this was in Denver, Colorado, or Evergreen, Colorado. And they said at least 2 students are in critical condition. And the suspect is a minor from high school. They're saying the school shooter got shot, but law enforcement is claiming that they didn't fire any rounds. So I'm confused. But yeah, I don't think that's being talked about enough. But yeah, we'll get into it. This week because I know more is going to come out. So we shall see how interesting this gets. I'm just looking at other things happening right now. Yeah, a lot of people are saying violence is never the answer. I do believe that. I do believe that. Especially not for no talk. Not for no words. Mm-mm. Hmm. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here because I'm ready to go to bed. Okay. I'm ready to go to bed. But yeah, interesting things. I still cannot wrap my head around killing somebody because you don't like what they say, but that's wild. Um, so I do pray for his family, his wife Erica, their 2 kids. That is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And I will continue to pray for those who are speaking out and speaking against the things that are going on, and not just following and going along to go along. But all right, guys, I'm going to end this here and I will talk to you guys Sunday.